Alright, level 9, we are getting close. So let's kick off with 1e4. In the last video I noticed that I made a few mistakes while I was talking about squares. I accidentally called b3 g3 and I accidentally said like king's pawn f1 instead of 2, but I don't know, maybe I'll throw in some annotations for that. Okay, so here at level 9 I suppose it's taking a while to think, even in the opening stage, so we'll just move that. Been warming back up to chess over the past couple of days. I was in Arizona for a week, helping out a church school there. A group from my church went down to help a church school there. Saw the Grand Canyon, too, as an added bonus. But that meant that I wasn't really playing a whole lot of chess, so been a bit rusty. Guess I should do that. Cover the pawn, looking to play c3 to keep the knight out once he perhaps comes and pins the knight. He could take the bishop off now if he wanted. I'd get pressure along the a file, though. Looks like that's what he's doing, too. Not the most pleasant variation, but it also takes a flank pawn towards the center. Though if I do go ahead with the d4 advance, then I'll just have doubled pawns, doubled isolated pawns, even. So we'll just wait and see on that one. Could play maybe b4, and my c3 would still be supported, and his pawn would be restrained. For now, let's just get the knight around, though. As you do in these Spanish games. Okay, d5 square. Might want to get a knight over there someday. This doubled pawn does have the advantage of also controlling a advance over here. I could plug that right now. Because now it's being targeted and my queen is tied down. I think I'll move my queen up here, then maybe clear the d file for a rook if that ever happens, like if he does do this advance now. Let's see, or that. I don't think I want to take. I do want to target this a pawn later, though, now. And I'll go ahead and move the bishop up to here just so I can snitch that knight if it ever lands on d4. Double over here, maybe even triple later. Since these rooks aren't any longer doing anything. I do still want to get a knight to d5 someday. But you gotta go with what you have. Right now this pawn is sufficiently protected. But later on in the game, perhaps. Okay, something to note is that this pawn is now pinned. So maybe we could make that significant later. let's go ahead and keep this knight out of over here. It won't be getting over to d4 anytime soon, so maybe I should, like, move my bishop back down and get my knight up and in. Don't think that I'd really mind trading a knight for his light square bishop. Okay, it looks like he's doubling over here on the A file as well. Something to note is that this queen does facilitate a possible b3 advance working. Okay, that seemed like a time waster to me. Okay, so I could get off either his knight or his light square bishop right now. His light squared bishop is his good bishop, though the board is very closed, so don't know. He goes there, maybe I take over here and get a knight to the new outpost square. Well, ish, it's not really in the enemy territory, but a nice square on c4, which does control some of his, or targets some of his pawns, and adds even more pressure over here, so I think I'll go for that. Do that, move the bishop up, reinstating the pin, get my knight to c4. He might get his bishop up and over here, but yeah, that's actually probably a pretty good idea, even. Puts pressure on my weak pawn. So I think I'll go ahead and do this, and if he doesn't move the bishop here, then that taking here becomes a deadly threat. I suppose he could double instead, but okay, so if I do this and swing the queen around to hit this pawn, maybe? Where's the queen go? It backs up along this diagonal to maintain. Wait, so if the queen wasn't there, then taking. Yeah, if the queen wasn't there, then this pawn would be in danger. So he might want to back the bishop up. It's not like it's doing anything over here anyway. Though, as a note, it could back up to f8 and become important to the king's safety. Okay, so if I move here, he does that. I reinforce. Maybe get an open f-file, maybe bring the bishop back over to him here and take this pawn out. So I think I'll try that. So if he moves it down, I could just take, but I'd rather reinforce my pawn mass. It would make the dark squares around my king a bit weak, but that was a price that I would have been willing to pay. Actually does look maybe even a bit drawish, but well, let's see. I have a nice knight, better queen. My bishop's kind of blocked in, but so are both of his. He really should, I think, just go for trying to exchange off. Okay, downside to this, my queen can't get back around to, yeah, that was a bad move. My queen can't get back over here anymore. This is looking a lot like a draw. Okay, can this be salvaged? If I move up here with check, he moves to the side, then looks like it could be good if only as a time waster. Okay, so now if I attack the bishop, he either guards or moves this bishop over here. I think that one's more likely. He can't move this bishop right now, because I'd be on that pawn, so that's something to note. Okay, I think I'll move my bishop, and if necessary, I can try and get my knight around over here. He would take with the light squared bishop, though, at present. Okay, I can't do this advance right now. Maybe I can bring some rooks to the f-file now, though, instead. Do something over there. He comes up. I don't think that check is an option, because after he moves, my queen is running out of squares. So I think now maybe my new target is... Oh man, I think that this might be a good move now. Well, he scoots back the bishop. Now he's coming in on the A file. Okay, so I take, he takes with the bishop, I get the knight out. Takes with the rook. What do I do? B3 could get really weak really fast. Okay, well, suppose I could move back. Then if he takes, I'd take his rook. He advances, takes. This pawn is weak. I'm on this pawn, though, maybe later. Let's do that. Okay, so takes. Not quite. Okay, if I move this knight out of the way, then this pawn will be back, so he can't just push. He is facilitating trading here now, I suppose, or taking, then takes, queen takes. But then maybe I'd get an attack over here. In fact, yeah, I think that would win material, so let's reinstate that pin. And taking here, I believe, would be a mistake. Okay, so now trade down here. Queen f7. Attacking both bishops. Queen a1. King over here. Queen here. Guard. Takes. takes, takes, takes. Yeah, look, best option at any rate. So now, Zwischenzug, or however you say it, in between moves on the queen because I just give check, then do that. No, no, no. Okay, so now I come up here, comes down, sidestep. Okay, so now should I take here? Takes, takes, or should I take here? I think I like taking here. I just like the feel of it better. Lets my bishop come into the action by way of this. H4, F6. Okay, now this is just weirding me out. I think I'll take here, though. Now he saves the bishop. Surely saving the bishop is best. Okay, he saves the bishop. So now I come up and take this, threat bishop f6, king g8, queen g7, checkmate. Okay, I think that this is still good. Just threat queen g7, checkmate. And queen g7, check. Okay, there's the game against level 9. Looked pretty drawish there at one point, but white's down. Hard part will be black since I'm bad at d4 and c4 games. Okay, so yeah. Thanks for watching.